Welcome to the Weekly. I'm Jeremy.
I'm Chris.
And this week on the Weekly, Blade 68. So we mentioned it last time, but we'll go into a little bit more. Osprey's new Wargames for 2025. We talked some McCullough. Well, now we'll get into what Osprey is doing. What else? Kult Divinity Lost. Get some new expansion books. And Daggerheart's official release coming this summer.
All right.
So we're going to see the final, the critters are leaving 5e behind, and we'll see what happens, if that affects sales and players and all that good stuff. But let's start with something more fun. So Blade 68 is Blades in the Dark, but set in the swinging 60s of the setting, right? So there's a playtest available. I'll put a link in the description, and you can try out, and it's actually the playtest materials. It looks like the full text. It's a very large, like 360 page rule book of the playtest rules. These are the same designers that did Deathmatch Island. So of course the layout for the book is gorgeous. So the original Blades in the Dark setting is that industrial city of Doskvol with ghosts, demons, and electrostatic weaponry. This is 100 years in the future of that setting. And they kind of give you new technology and reasons why the darkness is held out. Like the cities and the any part of civilization on the island is in these bubbles, this blue sky technology. That just beyond that is the whole nightmare of the original setting. But what this gives people is this sense of, they have a name for this era that they've moved into, but it gives people this sense of optimism and, favoring science and technology. So the age of consensus is what they call it. So a time of science, rationality, conformity, consumerism, and peace. Kind of the 60s, kind of post-war 60s. So the war may be over, but the shadowy game of espionage has never been more heated. So so Blade 68 is by Tim Denee and Evil Hat Productions, and of course using the Blades in the Dark original John Harper, and with their blessing, it's an official expansion. So there's major cities set on the Shattered Isles, wrapped in a bubble. This reality warping field keeps the dangers of the Deathlands safely away from you, and so then things get all groovy. But here's a little text from the playtest preview. Progress is here, but only for some. War may be over, but the shadowy game of espionage has never been more heated. Discontent bubbles under the surface and threatens to erupt at any time and any place. They've tried to tell you that the future has arrived and everything is fine now. That it's not the time to make a fuss, but you know better. You're a scoundrel, a chancer, a troublemaker. You know the streets, and you're not afraid of danger.
That sums it up. I was going to ask if in Blade 68 you still played kind of like a criminal organization, like in the original Blades in the Dark. Right.
Yeah. So what the new supplement kind of gives you different ways to play, but you're still kind of playing. It can handle spy thrillers, crime dramas, punk and counterculture, revolutionary, all just kind of the same types of characters you played before, kind of updated. Updated to a weird and wild 60s. Yeah. So you can check out that. There's a preview. There's just a preview PDF that gives you a little taste and some of the text that I read of what the setting is, and then if you apply for the playtest, they'll send you a link for that, and you get the full materials, and it's all the playbooks and everything, because there's all the each job or each class has everything all fleshed out. So they're very complicated, but gorgeously designed, but very complicated. So the only frustrating part is there's not any good VTTs that handle kind of drag and drop. Just throw this in here and it'll somehow function as a character sheet. Yeah, all of those are gone. So you might have to build something up, or maybe if it uses Blades in the Dark, there's enough. If the names are changed and stuff, you can track stuff, and some things will work if you install on either Foundry or Roll20 the original Blades in the Dark.
Well, I have to. I haven't looked at this. I have to think that the new. Not classes, but the new jobs are more than just reskins of the original Blades in the Dark.
Yeah, definitely are.
Because that would be pretty boring, right? If you're just like this thing with the same thing with a different name wouldn't work.
Right. Yeah, so that's true. So yeah, you're not gonna. It's playing in person with printed out sheets is probably the best way to play test this, because I think there's a lot of work to be done to do it easily over the and because there's so much information on your character sheet that you need to be tracking and all of the choices that you make and everything. So you have to have reference to that, but then you also need to be marking it. So it's not the easiest thing to do digitally, but when this comes out, and if they do an official VTT, it'll be beautiful. Yeah, it'll be a really nice.
I wonder if they did a VTT for Deathmatch Island.
Yeah. Oh wait, no, we were playing it early, so I'm not sure yet. Yeah, that's right. We were playing it early. Matt did all the heavy lifting for that, so Matt might know. But that also has a really great. The really great layout and design. So it would be so nice to see, official versions of that, especially for something like Alchemy that really likes, the graphics and really likes the visuals. So so take a look at that if that sounds interesting. And I was just thinking about heists in the 60s, so that was so funny that came out.
What a coincidence.
We're like, whoa, hey, why not? All right, and Osprey this year has given us a glimpse of 3 more miniature war games just to tempt us, to distract us from Frostgrave. We won't let that happen.
Not going to happen.
So throughout 2025, they're releasing Pacific Command, which is the naval miniatures game, combat in the Pacific during World War II. So battleships, cruisers, carriers, and destroyers with the buzz of aircraft filling the air. So this game specifically has a fog of war mechanic. So if you ever wanted to play a more elaborate version of Battleship, this is it. So the fleets are deployed first as radar blips, conceal your forces configuration, and then there's a dice pool system to resolve both air and sea, and command tokens to outwit your opponent. So you're basically A7.
You are not. I bet you are not. If anything, the only other game that I've played that had decent fog of war was Space Hulk.
Oh yeah, right.
Like that's what I'm imagining here.
Right. Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Counters maybe of different sizes represented a number of ships. The sensor blips, and once you get within visual range or whatever, you flip them over and then put the models on the table, right? And it might be decoys. And
No, I think that's a great mechanic, and especially for naval combat, that's perfect. So this is coming in May. So Pacific Command's coming in May, but perhaps you would like some deep space dogfighting. So Voidfighter is a sci-fi dogfighting game. So your ship has characteristics based on different die types, additional traits and weapons, and they also give you a set of pre-made ships, or you can build your own. So loads of different scenarios and a full campaign system for fighting amongst. And we played an RPG that was
Tachyon Squadron, which I want to get back to.
Yeah.
There's so many games I want to get back to.
Yes, but Voidfighter is coming out this August.
Voidfighter is definitely a miniatures skirmish game, or a miniatures game where Tachyon Squadron is a role-playing game. Right.
Yes, much more role-playing involved. Perhaps all of that is too recent for you, and you would prefer Hide, Stone, and Bone. So a Paleolithic clash, wargaming about surviving, hunting, and bringing victory to your tribe. So alternating activations, a D10 system with a strong focus on campaign and the survival of your tribe. So the campaign is divided into a series of big days and scenarios. So you can either have a multiplayer mammoth hunt, survive against the dangerous cave bears and wolves, or simply a tribal clash. And then you'll be gathering food, making weapons, and consulting your shaman between
climbing the cave bear.
Yes.
Okay. Personally, that one.
Last one, Hide, Stone, and Bone.
Right?
Yes.
Hide, Stone, and Bone sounds the most interesting to me. Followed quickly by that Voidfighter. Okay, that Pacific Command sounds amazing. Given where we live, it is not appealing to me. Right? Like. Sorry, living in Japan, playing a World War II game, like, cool. I want to see the mechanics.
Right.
Not playing it.
Right.
It's kind of like the same thing as like all the like bolt action in World War II and like Axis and Allies. I'm just like, no. And that's not me saying you can't play it, because I got in trouble back in the old days at X for saying, are you saying all people can't play history games? No, not what I'm saying. I'm saying I don't want to play that, right?
So yes.
Reskin Pacific Command as like... spaceships, and I'm there for it.
Nice. So Hide, Bone, and Stone is coming in November. So we've got a busy schedule between what McCullough's output and the other games that Osprey is releasing. There is a lot of books coming out from them. And I
might be wrong, but I think Osprey Games is also having like their Flash February sale, where like Okay, Osprey Publishing might be like 30% off, where some of their like game books and board games might be 40% off. If it's still active, it's only for a couple more days.
Okay.
Right? Like it's pretty fast. I think once the weekend is done, that's it.
Nice. Yeah, that's good. Yeah,
they more Frostgrave stuff.
Yes, that's right. That's right. Yeah, they do a good job, Osprey, and there's a huge variety of historical to crazy fantasy.
Well, even like
stuff
under Osprey Publishing is a lot of their like military books.
Oh yeah,
and I've seriously been looking at some of those, especially like uniforms, because they run the gamut from like Greek hoplites all the way up to like World War II, and I'm like, if I want to know what color to paint these like little 6mm like Persian immortals, maybe I should get some of those books.
Yeah. No, that's true, and I think that was their original kind of.
I think
bread and butter.
Was. Yeah.
Nice. And a Kickstarter. I think this is showing up on Kickstarter. So Kult Divinity Lost is getting Dark Realms and Other Horrors. So Helmgast Publishing. So their recent version of Cult's Divinity Lost is powered by the Apocalypse.
Oh.
And that was do you remember the little black Bible that I had, the rule book? Yeah. So that's basically that's the rules, but all their wonderful art is taken out of it. But I love
it looks like a Bible.
Yeah, I loved it as an object.
Did it have like
so
gold?
Much. Yeah, it was very gorgeous. Yeah. So now they are producing some more expansions for the game itself. So Metropolis, The Illusion in the Borderlands, Scarlet Bride and Other Tales, and Broken Reflections. So 4 books in a single campaign. And I think Modifius handles a lot of their distribution too. So if you want to get the original books are also available, the rule book and everything are available. And then of course they do some nice, limited alternative cover, never produced again versions for this campaign. So the books are hardcover, full color art, and then the special edition ones I think are cloth covered with some foil effects and stuff. So they're gorgeous. So all products of this campaign are in English, and So the Metropolis will be. So it looks like they're all about like 150 to 200 pages, and a little bit of gold effect, because the artists they get are gorgeous, like if you like creepy gothy crazy looking.
I mean, come on, you're playing a game called Kult Divinity Lost. You're not going to get like
right.
bright puppies and kittens, right?
Yes,
couldn't think of anything else.
So a lot of creators involved in these books. So Metropolis is a collaboration of a lot of diverse voices in horror gaming, all contributing little pieces for this collection. The Borderlands expands upon illusion and the Borderlands, so maybe outside of your urban environments, and how illusions affect sleep. The aware and the enlightened are all different in that setting. The Scarlet Bride and Other Tales are several more writers working for, let's see. This one is set in the heart of Hollywood. A midnight wedding beckons, and the player characters find themselves among the invited. Nice. So you're attending a wedding. Nice. And they do. And so the other tales are the all-inclusive, the midnight in the diner of good and evil, and Call of the Wild. Huh. And then Broken Reflections is a collection of horror starters.
Okay,
starters. Yeah. So exploring the different areas of the cult mythology, and so they sought to find many different voices to bring these stories alive. Each one ranges from 4 to 20 pages, and are focused on one player. Focused on one player, while others are on a whole group. So there's some.
So it sounds to me it's kind of like, if it's called a starter, it makes me think like, here's like the initial situation, here's like the people involved, but it's up to you to kind of see what happens.
Yeah. And it this is amazing that they're doing 4 more books, because there already is. I mean, there's probably like 8 or 10 supporting books already for just this version of Kult Divinity. Yeah, so they've really been. And the last one is the Crossroads. So Stephen Wall's Crossroads. Characters end up in a mysterious location in the Borderlands where the god of the highways resides. So some people with credits from Chaosium and other horror writings. And the last one, Broken Reflections, another kind of 120 to 80 pages. I guess I haven't locked down everything yet. They're giving you a range. A dark odyssey through a brutal and unsettling journey of self-discovery. Nice. So this is more of in the style of a choose-your-own-adventure book.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, nice. So, those are all going to be, all of those pieces and parts are all going to be available, plus the previous books themselves, and there's a pretty good PDF if you want to do all digital. But the physical books themselves are really
I was
nicely
just wondering how much an
produced.
all-in pledge would be.
Yeah, all in, I believe, for the 4 new books is around 150.
Well, it's 4 hardcover books, right?
Right. And then I think everything gets everything deluxe. I think they do like PDFs of everything, hardcover of everything, both of everything, and then they do deluxe, and then you can go. I think like 300 is both copies of both. Okay. Yeah. So that's probably the best deal if you want to split with somebody. You want the deluxe ones, or they do, and you just want, but you want physical books. But I'm not sure where they're sending them from, so the shipping could be a little, that always
more than the books.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes, but but all for so there's digital stretch goals and physical stretch goals as well, and then of course available in the add-ons is everything they produced before for the setting. But these are gorgeous looking books. We've never played. I
don't think anybody has.
Yeah.
sorry.
But going through the rule, I mean, the rules, it really does. I think it'd be easy for our group to deal with it because it's powered by the apocalypse and kind of weird, dark, kind of storytelling. So I think that would be fun. But
what are you saying about our group?
They're weird and dark, and they love stories. And finally, a game we definitely won't be playing upon release, Critical Role's Daggerheart is here. Almost. Summer release. So this is going to mean a big switch. They're going to dump 5e, but will you even notice? That's the thing that's funny.
Well, okay, yeah. I'm not gonna dump on Critical Role. It is what it is, right? I don't think I've watched almost none of it, right? That is what I was wondering. Like, would you notice a difference between the system switch?
Right.
I don't know. I'm sure you're going to see something, right? But
yeah, and it might be from a marketing perspective. I'm sure Darrington Press is like, come on, guys, because there's a lot of card-based stuff in Daggerheart. So character creation and stuff is cards representing abilities and things and your class and stuff. So that might be visible, on the table, and people would be like, oh, they're using cards, and that other game didn't have cards, or So we'll see what happens. But so sprawling card-based mechanics, and of course their hope and fear dice.
Sorry, did I say sprawling cards?
Sprawling, yeah, because you've got cards everywhere.
No.
Yeah, your character sheet is basically just covered with cards. Yeah.
Okay, fine. I don't know. Like, sometimes I feel like I'm in the minority when I try and think about conserving space. Right. Sprawling is not a word I would.
They have to pull the camera back on that.
Unless you're talking about an open world game, then sprawling, but a sprawling character sheet, it's going off the.
Yes.
Anyway, sorry.
Right, and you got to set that thing up. So May 20th, 2025, a day that will go down in infamy. So already thousands of characters have been created and beta tests have been played. So this thing is ready. It's more ready than it's ever been to be released. So I'm sorry. But that day, that May 20th, is only the pre-order day. You will be receiving the game on June 3rd, a day that will almost live. Yeah, that's before D-Day, right? The day before D-Day. Will live in infamy. And you can also get it on Demiplane and DriveThruRPG if you prefer digital. So the core set is, which is just the cards in the book, is $59. Okay.
Sorry, what did you get?
Pretty standard. Your book and the cards.
Okay.
The limited edition, which will never be produced again after this pre-order, has a GM screen, a dice set, a rip pad of character sheets, and some tokens, and a little funny box to put it all in.
As well as sweeping alternate cover art.
Oh, yes, sweeping.
I don't know, man. I'm getting kind of burned out on the whole alternate covers.
Right, so I don't know if that's worth an extra $90, but they're trying to pull that one off because it's never going to be produced again. Sure. Yes, so... yeah, Daggerheart, in case you don't know, Daggerheart has there are 2 different domains available for all of your character classes.
All right.
And they either will use the Blade, Arcane, or Bone, and each class gets to pick abilities based on those domains. And the classes in Daggerheart are pretty standard: Bards, Druids, Rangers, Sorcerers, Rogues, and Warriors. And all players pick a class and character traits, and those are all on cards that you put next to your sheet.
I'm not against Okay, I'm not against cards on like a general thing. I mean, the trophy game that I helped for because there's lots of different things you can choose, and it is a lot easier to just go whoosh, 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 right? Or if you just want to like mix and match, you're like if you need one card from each of these sets, well, here you go, and I have a brand new character, right? So I'm not against cards.
Yeah, that's true, because they do represent like a randomizing. If you want to do random character generation, if nothing conflicts with each other, if you could have things sorted, then
it's also a good way. I mean, like 4E, right? Like Hoden's saying, like, congratulations, you've reimagined 4E, right? Like 4E ad cards, right? Like, I don't know how this works. Like, if there are a lot of like special abilities that if they're trying to do like an MMO thing where things like, okay, you got a cooldown period, like you flip the card over, or if you've got to like track stuff, or last Sunday I played in a one shot of Avatar Legends with that Alan ran, and like even that and masks have cards, right, that you can use to keep track of like your status. Like you're afraid, here it is. There's a reminder rule text, and once you get rid of it, you throw it back. So okay, right? The cards are fun.
And for physical playing in person, cards work well because it's easy to sort things out, and it also is good for publishing because you can release new cards.
Well, I mean, okay, like that is the sarcastic part of me where I go, and you can print more stuff that people have to buy, right? Yeah, that is the downside. But I wonder if they're aiming for this to be kind of not an introductory game, but like an on-road to the hobby. In which case, I think cards also help, right?
Because you can. You're not flipping the rules.
You're not flipping the rules. Everything. You're just like, here's this card. Here's your weapon. Here's this, right? So
no, that's true. So in the system, there are foundations, heritages, hit points, and quantified hope. You have to quantify your hope, I guess. And so character creation made easy by cards. And also, to anticipate this, Critical Role has announced a mini-series that they're going to showcase their Age of Umbra, which I guess is a grimdark setting for Daggerheart. So Matt Mercer developed the setting. They're going to do a series of videos showing off the final print version of the book in the videos, I'm sure. And so kind of testing the waters. This setting, the Age of Umbra, is inspired by Dark Souls and Kingdom Death Monster.
What isn't in this day and age? Jesus Christ!
Right. Dark Souls is weighing heavy on the tabletop industry. So Mercer says the campaign I created, Age of Umbra, is similar to Soulsborne. Okay, like everything else. It is a dark and challenging and very grim place by design. In Daggerheart, our menagerie games are very silly and very fun, leaning on flexing and going over the top with your characters. Flexing your voice acting abilities. Age of Umbra is meant to be the opposite. In the landscape it has that has been without gods for 100 years, they abandon the people and the realm itself. So this is the Morkborg of
really,
I guess as the realm itself is rotting and dying, and you're just survivors in this messed up place.
Sorry, man. Like those two things, I don't imagine going together. Critical Role play as Morkborg. I don't see that happening.
Well, they played Doom or something, right? Did they do like a tabletop Doom RPG where you all play demons trying to shoot each other? Yeah, so
they also play
that's funny.
Wendy's game.
Oh, that's right. They played the Wendy's game. Well, they did for probably big bucks. So the Age of Daggerheart is here. It will arrive.
The only thing there was a discussion about Daggerheart like a while back, right? And I think it kind of led to a discussion or discourse about if games need to cater to actual play. Right?
Oh, right.
And I don't remember where that went, and I'm not saying Daggerheart is. Based on who produced it and where it's coming from, I kind of think it would lean that way. But I mean, like, let's be honest. There are some games that are just like, they're going to lend themselves more or less to actual plays. And I'm wondering where Daggerheart is.
Yeah, that's interesting. Kind of like that esports influence on video games. Like so many people wanted to make a game that would become an esport and compete with.
I kind of think it's similar.
Yeah, that's true. That's interesting. But I think though there's also a desire, because the actual play has become a way to kind of pass the tradition of how to run games and how to run styles of games and things to people.
Discussed before about how like Critical Role
right.
is to tabletop role-playing games the way porn is to sex.
Right. Yeah. So they're just showing you the best shots.
Exactly.
But yeah. So I think I mean they get the numbers though, so I understand that. But I think it's nice that actual play exists the way that it does now in streaming, because you see games play that probably rarely reach most people's tables.
Do you?
Now. Yeah.
I don't know. I would like numbers.
Mm-hmm. Right? Oh yeah. Well, I mean, it's not big audiences and big, but it is because they exist.
What was it? Dimension 20?
Yeah. No, but not these guys. And I'm talking about these guys, but I'm talking about like actual play in general is really broad now, and it's not just this weird performance art that is going on. Yeah.
Sorry, I keep cutting you off. I think yes. Okay. With the success of things like Critical Role and Dimension 20,
mm-hmm.
the only word that's coming to my head is legitimized, which is maybe not the correct word, right?
Mm-hmm.
But okay, it has kind of opened up the field for actual plays to be a thing,
mm-hmm.
right? Mm-hmm. So yes, I think are we seeing more actual plays? Are people more aware of them? Probably, right?
Oh yeah, I mean, because there's an infinite number. Every time I see somebody recommend an actual play, I've never heard of the people doing it. Yeah, so there's a huge amount, and people are more or less. You could probably do some kind of grid where people are more or less influenced by Critical Role,
sure.
And so that style, so you can get closer to how a game really sounds, or you can get more into the performance of the characters and something enjoyable to listen to, just as audio drama
would be.
Yeah, you have to work. Yeah, you can work on that. Okay. We'll post that.
Something for me to do when I get back to work. Okay.
Yeah, where did you fall on this? But so we'll see what actually happens with this, because if there may be somebody that decides to stay, like Dimension 20 or whoever doesn't have their own game, and they decide to stay with 5e and make that their main game.
I don't know.
That may help support. I'm not sure. I think a lot of the lower tier, although Dimension 20 is also getting people to pay for tickets.
Well, they're like selling out stadiums, right?
That's insane. But so it'll be interesting if going their own publishing route and stuff is actually going to help them and make them a more kind of successful thing, or if it's just going to hurt them because there's not the symbiotic relationship with Wizards of the Coast anymore.
Did I hit something? Is the mic okay?
Yeah, no, it sounds it's good. It's the mic. Oh yeah, running in and out.
Let us know in chat if something's wrong.
Okay. Yeah, no, we got some air blasting too, so we'll remove that. Yeah, so the stream's a little noisier.
Yeah. Okay.
Stream is a little noisier.
You would think that Hasbro, with the departure of Critical Role,
mm-hmm.
I don't know if Dimension 20 still plays D&D. You would think Hasbro would have the intelligence to snap someone up and be like, okay, we'll sponsor you, we'll give you everything you need. You play D&D 5e. Right, or you play D&D, whatever we name the next version that's coming out.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Heck, you could even give them stuff to preview, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Oh yeah, right. Yeah, that would be if
they're big enough, right?
Yeah, and if they had their ad-based streaming service in order too, that would be a great way to introduce settings and stuff. Yeah, I don't know, but it seems like they've just grabbed up people that have been popular, people that have made names for themselves and made them guest starring DMs for special things on their channels, but I don't think they've stuck with anybody. And it doesn't, and just like throwing a bunch of famous people together doesn't make a good actual play. I think the Critical Role group have played together.
Okay, to their credit, they were playing before. They actually turned it into a
right. So they're playing together. They have chemistry and stuff. It's not just a bunch of people that are meeting for the first time and
I still think of that. What did they used to be on?
Geek and Sundry.
Yeah, I still think of that time that I think it was Chris Promise tried to run the AGE system, and people were just not at odds with it, but one person was obviously being real and silly, and other people were trying to play it straight, and this is just it was not working.
Interesting. Yeah, and I think the groups do have to find their dynamic as well. Yeah, so you can't just throw a bunch of famous people together that have social media followings on tabletop and expect that to go well. You do, yeah, they do because they want the views. But as far as a fun thing to watch, but yeah, so now we're seeing it. So we're seeing this final revision release of the 2024 Wizards product, and now it's going to be now Daggerheart is going to be around.
How long before we get Daggerheart like comic books and crap?
Oh, right. But they're
Funko Pops.
Their mystery, their Call of Cthulhu knockoff kind of fizzled, right? I haven't heard anything about that investigation.
What you mean?
The first thing that Darrington did,
Candela Obscura, or whatever the heck it was. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't heard a peep about that. I haven't seen it's not come up in anything for a while, so I don't know if it even got played beyond the original kind of promotion of it.
But I mean, I think I don't have numbers to back it up, but I think fantasy is the biggest genre of RPG still.
Mm-hmm.
Like sword and sorcery fantasy.
Right. Yeah, no, I think it would be except in Japan. They still love their Call of Cthulhu. And actually they love their Tunnels and Trolls too. There was actually a magazine published in Japanese with original content for Tunnels and Trolls like back in the 80s, and some of that stuff got translated back. But yeah, there was it ran like 6 issues or something. Yeah, and it was just full of new Tunnels and Trolls content in the 80s, like when D&D was probably at its peak. So it did well here. But so that's going to do it for this week. Yeah. What a year of new games.
Coming up from Osprey.
Yes, right. Yeah, so we got some good stuff and some stuff we're not pay much attention to. But yes, so we're going to have some Tunnels and Trolls, maybe character creation and a little discussion. Take a look at the channel. I did a flip through of the Deluxe Tunnels and Trolls book. So you kind of get a sense of like the entire game. There's all of the art kind of collected from all the versions is in there. They did kind of a whole gazetteer of the setting of Troll World setting and everything.
Troll World.
and they broke up. The nice thing part about the book is they broke it up into the basic rules and then all the elaborations, like all the stuff you can add on. So that's the nice thing about the system is like there are rules that you can use and not use, and it doesn't really affect things. Like they
well, then why do you have them?
No, but it doesn't like take away. Like it just the things you can add enhance stuff and kind of fix stuff. If it bothers you that this isn't doing this enough. Oh yeah, but here's a rule that makes that happen. So things like spite damage and things are fun. Are fun to add in. But so where can people find you?
I forgot. Blue Sky. Yep.
Oh, okay.
Where Blue Sky and Instagram sometimes where I'm posting recently photos of my Philadelphia Eagles inspired Frost Cream team.
Oh, nice. Nice.
That's about it. Yep.
All right.
So how about you?
And I've got a stream coming up probably next week for the Abuse Cartoons. So Abuse Cartoons on YouTube and Twitch. And it's a single panel gag cartoon, which I've been drawing for forever. You can watch me draw it, and I'll eat some snacks from Japan, and you can read the cartoon on GoComics. So gocomics.com/domestic abuse. And if you like what we're doing here on the weekly, consider becoming a weekling.
The strongest of all supporters.
Yes. You can do that on patreon.com/upturntable. And basically let us know at that tier what you'd like to see more of. Send us some
don't say Daggerheart.
News stories. Yeah, but anything except Daggerheart. Some news stories and anything that you'd like to see discussed on the show, and we will do that.
You know what? I take it back. If you want to see more Daggerheart, and gift us a copy. Okay.
Yep. Chris wants to see those cards. Wants to see how a character sheet full of cards. Right? Yes. So that will do it for this week. Keep an eye out. I'm going to post these Swords of Serpentine. Matt did a flip through of that book too.
Keep meaning to look at that one too.
Yeah. And that's so Gumshoe Fantasy. Yeah. Oh. All right. So that'll do it for this week. We'll be back again next week.
Later, mortals.
Goodbye.